Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking TV shows, but shows that I have watched recently. Now, by recently I'm going back as March maybe. The first show that I want to talk about is The Walking Dead. Just my best friend decided to finally watch Teen Wolf because it's my favorite show, so I decided to give her favorite show a chance. And man, did I binge watch that show. I'm talking 5 seasons in 1 week. Did not get much reading done during that week, but I did get a lot of epicness and tears and happiness and all of that because that show was so good. I thought it was just gonna be like this apocalypse, like dry, nothing much happening, but it was funny, it was depressing, it was happy sometimes. It was just a whole range of emotions that I did not expect to have while watching this show. I give this show a 8 or 9 out of 10 because there are certain times where it was kind of slow, but like overall that show was great. And I got a new favorite character because I watched that show, and that is, where is he? Glenn. I even bought his Pop Funko because I just love him so much. I just love him. My friend always makes a joke because, if you do not know this, I am part Japanese. And by part, I mean like a quarter, a little bit over a quarter. I'm not really sure the exact percentage, but she always makes a joke saying that, of course, I would go for the Asian one in the whole cast, but he's so cute. I love him. The second show that I've been watching, Smallville. Now, it's not on Netflix, so I've been slowly collecting them. This is about Clark Kent, aka Superman, when he was a teenager, and it's about him and his friends and trying to make sure no one finds out about his powers and that he's not of this earth. And you meet Lex Luthor. This show, the graphics aren't the best because I'm sure this was made in like early 2000s or something, but honestly, all of their lines are pure greatness. Like, some are cheesy. I would give this show a 8 out of 10. Walking Dead, I would say a 9 out of 10. This one I would say an 8 or a 7. More leaning towards 8, but this is just such a good show, and I highly recommend that you find it somewhere. I'm sure you can find it online somewhere, but I kind of just like to own these things, especially when it's superhero related. The OC, which is an older show, that this is actually a rewatch for me, but I watched it when it was live in the early 2000s, and honestly, this feels like the first time I'm watching this because I don't remember any of this. And this show is cool because I live in the OC, which stands for Orange County. But yes, this follows a boy named Ryan who did not have the best upbringing, and him and his brother get into some trouble, and he gets this lawyer named Sandy Cohen who decides to take Ryan home with him for the weekend. And Sandy also has a brother, not a brother, that'd be weird, a son named Seth Cohen, who's my actual favorite character. He reminds me so much of Styles Stilinski. Love it. And there's some love stuff going on in there. It's one of your basic teenage drama shows, when they're set in high school and all that stuff. So I highly recommend this too. Basically, all the shows I'm telling you about, I highly recommend because I loved every single one of them. except maybe the last one I talk about, because that's not going to be for everyone. But yes, I'm not sure what to rate this. I want to say a 7 or 8 also. The next show I'm going to talk about is a UK show. Now, I'm 100% positive we have a US version of this show, which I YouTube to see clips of it, and it just not seem as good as this show, and that is Skins. Now, I completely fell in love with this show. Now, one suggestion is that if you are of a certain age, that you don't watch this, because there's a lot of profanity. I mean, it's like British profanity. I mean, I'm not sure what half of it means, but I know it's profanity. There's a lot of nudity and just a lot of vulgar things that go on in that show. So if you're okay with that, then this show is great. This is about, well, you see, there are 6 seasons. No, there are 7 seasons, because the first 2 seasons are one cast of people. The second 2 seasons, seasons 3 and 4, of another cast of people. Then 5 and 6 are a different cast of people. And then season 7 is 6 episodes, and 2 episodes are for certain characters that are in the past seasons. I hope that made sense, because I don't know how else to explain it. But this show, honestly, I was looking for another show to make me stop rewatching One Tree Hill, because I'm kind of just always go back to One Tree Hill, so I needed a new teen drama show. And so on Netflix, the little cover of the TV show is the girl from The Maze Runner, Kaya Scodelario, and I loved her in The Maze Runner, so I was like, okay, let me watch this. And I knew the actor who plays the Beast in X-Men was in that show too, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch it. Could not stop watching it. I was so addicted. Each group, even though they're different people, and each, I guess in British they're called series, each season is called a series. I'm not really sure, that's what it says on Netflix. But the Generation 1 and the Generation 2 and the Generation 3 is also what it's called to separate the 3 groups. I don't know. Well, all 3 generations go to the same college, but at different times. Now, I'm just confusing myself on this right now. Anyways, I'm just going to describe the first generation, because I'm going to confuse you if I keep talking about all 3 of them together. So it follows a group of teenagers who go to college. Now, I'm not sure what the education system is in England. I'm not sure what age you do it at or how it goes. But what it seems like, there are 2 years of this college. And it's just all these drama keeps happening, and certain things, people die in the show, which I was not expecting. And it's just such a great cast, because they're so diverse and everything. There's someone who's gay. There's just so many things that are going right in that show, but so wrong at the same time because of the vulgarness and all that stuff. But I honestly give this show a 9 out of 10. I was obsessed with it. After I finished watching it, I went back and rewatched it, because I missed, by the time I got to season 7, I missed the people in season 1 and 2. So, I mean, I tend to rewatch things a lot, which is a problem because it keeps me from watching new things, but I'm okay with it. Now, the next show is an obsession a lot of people have, and I started watching Gilmore Girls, which is the show that I'm next talking about, because Lauren from Lava Lauren 101 started it, and she was Snapchatting me, and she was telling me how good this is, and she was Snapchatting me cute scenes. She didn't directly tell me to watch it, but I felt left out, so I started watching it. And I couldn't stop. But I binge watched seasons 1 through 4 really fast, and then I realized that the revival, because it's getting a revival season on Netflix, I think, isn't coming out soon. So I thought I'd pace myself on seasons 5, 6, and 7. I think there's 7, maybe 6 seasons, 7. I think there's 7. And so I'm slowly getting through season 6 because I just don't want it to end. But it's about a girl named Rory Gilmore and her mother Lorelai Gilmore, who live in this small town called Stars Hollow. And you just meet so many great characters that I love so much. Even the side characters are freaking fantastic. And there's some very attractive love interests in this show for Rory. And Lorelai's main love interest that everyone wants her to be with is still pretty good looking, even though he's older. I still find him attractive. But the show is honestly such a good show. Rory is a book lover. So am I. Oh my. Why do I always do that? So I honestly connected with her so much, especially on the level where she was just not really into the social aspects of things, because that's me. I am more of a homebody, and so is she. I don't want to rate this because I haven't finished it yet. As of right now, it's a very, very good score. The next show, I blame Lauren for this obsession as well, because again, she Snapchatted me and she was watching the first episode of the show, and I was like, oh wait, this show's on Netflix now? And she's like, yeah, it just came on. So I logged into my Netflix and I was looking for it, and there it was, the Scream TV series that's on MTV. And fun fact about me, the Scream series, the movie series, is one of my favorite horror slasher movies of all time. I'm obsessed with them. I watch them on a daily basis. I love them so much, and they don't scare me because a little story time for you. Honestly, this video is probably going to be so long, but the other weekend I spent the night at my grandma's house, and my aunt lives there as well, and we were watching this scary movie that wasn't scary, but it was just the fact that it could happen was scary. And it was When a Stranger Calls, and she looks up and the man was right there, and for some reason that freaked me out so much. But after the movie ended, it was 12 o'clock at nighttime or in the morning, whatever the heck it is. So we went to bed, and in the back room where I sleep is a TV that only has a VHS player. So I took my aunt's VHS of Scream because I was so scared to sleep that I just couldn't sleep. I was so scared. So I put Scream on to calm me down. Doesn't really make sense, but it does to me because that movie is my favorite and it doesn't scare me, and it actually calmed me down, so I went to sleep. That's the end of story time. But yes, back to the MTV version of Scream. Now, I wanted to watch the show when it was on, but I kind of just got too far behind to catch up. So I was just gonna wait to find it somewhere. I fell in love. I watched all of it in a day. Now, I'm talking 24-hour period, not full on, but I'm pretty sure Lauren did too, because there was a time where we were Snapchatting each other and we were on the exact same scene, which is cool because we live on opposite parts of the US. But this show was so good. You just want to guess who the killer is, but I can tell you, if you guess, you're not going to be right, because I had no idea who that killer was. And when the person revealed itself, shock. right when the person revealed themselves. So my mom told me our show was on, so I had to hit pause and wait half an hour until I can continue. That was torture, my friends. And you meet a certain boy on that show who is my new favorite person, and that is Jake Fitzgerald. I am actually in love with this man. If you watch it and you tell me you don't fall in love with him, you watched it wrong. And I give the show a 10 out of 10. Dare I say 10 out of 10, because I found a new OTP in that show, my new favorite character. Lots of funny things happen in that show. You wouldn't think a horror TV show would be funny, but it is. And the last show, I just watched all of it yesterday, and that is Degrassi, The Next Class. Is that what it's called? It's on Netflix. It's a Netflix series that is continuating off of Degrassi, The Next Generation, which was like 17 seasons. I was obsessed with Degrassi as a kid, and I continued to watch it. But watching this, I don't think I ever finished it because I was confused on a few things that was happening. But yeah, it's kind of, Degrassi is a Canadian TV show, and it follows a group of students that go to Degrassi, which is their school, and a lot of stuff happens. I highly recommend you watching like the beginning of this series. It starts to get silly and repetitive towards like season 10 or something, but those beginning seasons with the original cast are just some of my favorite things, and I've rewatched that show a lot ever since I was a kid, and I'm surprised my parents even let me watch the show. Actually, I don't know if they knew I watched it when I was that young, because there were some things that should not have been seen in my eyes as a kid, but that's okay. I hope you enjoyed this video, because I love watching TV shows. I'm a TV show freak. But yes, that was such a long talking video. Hope you don't mind. See you in my next video. Bye!